listening to The Watchers, a show where two women from opposite ends of New Jersey watch TV shows where troubled, hot doctors with beards and slutty little glasses hold babies. He held that baby, Andrea.
He held that baby.
He held that baby for an extended... He talked to the little baby in a little voice.
He was so sweet to the little baby.
He held the baby even though the baby was drooling on him.
He loved it. He was fine with it.
You got your wish.
I got my wish. I love that at first I texted you. I was like, this isn't exactly what I meant by hold the baby. When he's like, caught the baby by the back of the legs.
Right.
Our friend Melissa Joy texted us, made use of our text option
to
nice. Say he held that baby with like 3 exclamation points. So, yeah.
Yeah, one of the random things I did this week was start a TikTok for us. And I posted the reel that you made for Instagram. And after this episode aired, some random commenter was like, we got it.
I love that.
I know. He held the baby.
Follow us over on TikTok if you're a TikTok person.
Yeah. We'll see how long I keep up with doing that regularly, but it's kind of fun to be like over there and like there's a lot of great sort of repostable like memes from the shows we watch also. Mm-hmm. I saw one recently from a knit talk person that was like, if Carol from Pluribus was a knitter, and it's just her sitting on the phone listening to the recording, and at the end she just says, I need more yarn, and like hangs up the phone.
Sounds like you. So, that's all I know. Exactly. Everything I know about knitting comes from you, but that makes sense.
Yeah. I am Jodie, and
oh right, I'm Andrea.
You're Andrea, and we watched 8 a.m.
That's right, season
2, episode 2. Before we kind of go through it, how did you feel about this one?
I was, as usual, compelled, invested. I am struggling with my feelings about Dr. Alashimi, of course. And I am curious to hear your take on all of that. They hit a lot of notes that I was happy to have hit, reminding me why he held a baby. Langdon continues to be my semi-problematic fave. He's doing a good job. Mel got to be like, they really know these characters, and it's nice to see that play out. How about you?
I mean, I loved the Mel and Langdon stuff. Like that, they did only really have one day working together, but it was probably the worst day of both of their lives.
Yeah.
And it was a very long one, and he had a rough go of it, and they went through something together. And I believe that they bonded that much in one day.
I think you're probably right.
I love how they talk to each other in a different way than they talk to anyone else.
Totally.
And I'm not like shipping them or whatever. I'm not saying they should date, but like the way that Mel talks to Langdon and Langdon talks to Mel is different significantly to me than the way that either of them talk to anyone else.
I think that's right. I think Langdon, it seems, is really, I mean, we know it's not seems, really willing to learn from Mel. And we see how directly that plays out with how he deals with her as his patient this episode, which is
that made me so emotional.
Yeah, it was really great.
Well, and he seems to be kind of performative with everyone else, and with her, he's just not. He just talks to her like a person.
Yeah, I think that's right.
It's really disarming. Mm-hmm. And I noted that Mel, because the character is on the spectrum in some way, and that Taylor Dearden has talked about this, sometimes she doesn't make eye contact consistently when she's talking to people. And I noted with interest the way that she is willing to make eye contact with Langdon for like extended periods of time.
That's cool.
Thought that was interesting.
I'm going to say this one more time because it keeps coming up on the show, and then we'll put it aside for now. We've gotten quite a few people asking us to cover Heated Rivalry through various channels. And talking about eye contact with Shane, obviously, and his mom, that scene, everybody knows what I'm talking about if you've watched the show. I think at some point we will have a reason to cover Heated Rivalry and maybe do a rewatch, even if it's not until closer to season 2. So I hear you. We want to talk about it. And we'll get there. Maybe when things have the conversation, which is so huge and bordering, I think, at this point on oversaturated, for as much as I love the show.
I think that might be our siloed.
Oh, am I telling on my algorithm?
I think we're both telling on our algorithms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. But either
really
way,
do.
either way,
I got fed
we'll
that.
Get there.
Yeah. I sent you the reel or TikTok or whatever that was the combination of scenes from Heated Rivalry with Jacob Wysocki's rant or pep talk. I was like, that's this most specific algorithm thing ever.
Yeah, I've started getting Heated Rivalry Fallout Boy edits, which is how it's really kind of figured me out. So, we will get to it at some point, I think. I think we'll have to, but...
Well, here's what I'll say. If people really want us to cover it, they should tell 5 friends to listen to this podcast.
Beautiful.
So that we can both, get paid a little bit to do this and then maybe find more time in our lives to
I would love to do this twice a week. That would be amazing.
Yeah. I have 3 full-time jobs at the moment. Exactly. So
yeah.
But yeah, trust me, I have lots to say about Heated Rivalry.
Yeah, at some point we'll get there. I heard if you want to start making noise, Heated Rivalry, a show for us, of course. A show that sounds like even more for us from the folks at Crave is the queer softball team show that's going to be airing on Crave, which is Canadian, obviously, in September.
Which is where Heated Rivalry began.
Right.
On Crave.
So I will not be shocked if the public annoyingly makes less noise about this show, although it doesn't have the history that Heated Rivalry had with the readers of the books, but whatever. But if we want more queer shows, especially for women on TV, make noise about it.
Please.
So we're going to start making noise about it. Despite all evidence to the contrary, I did not play softball.
I asked because I played softball. I was not very good at it, but I played t-ball and then softball.
Aw. Yeah. No sports over here.
They let me be catcher in the beginning, and then I hated putting on all this stuff. I got very overstimulated, so then they threw me the outfield where nothing ever happened.
It seems like a lot.
Yeah.
I was not an organized anything young person, so no sports.
I think my mom wanted me out of the house, so I was put into literally everything. Dance, gymnastics, cheerleading, softball, horseback riding, everything. Yeah.
We're going to get to the Pitt. I have not watched Stranger Things since season 2, but I did see someone online being like, okay, but were you guys really all just running around unsupervised like this? And 100%.
Yeah. When I wasn't in those organized things, I was running around on my bicycle, going places that I probably shouldn't have, and
just
hanging out on train tracks.
Mm-hmm. Another place you can hang out.
Yeah.
is Pittsburgh Trauma Medical Center.
Oh, yes, the show that we watched. I liked this episode. I know they're ramping up, and I remember because there was no expectations when the show was first on for how good it was going to be. The first couple of episodes, I think we're also ramping up, and now I'm like, come on, get to it, you know. But they're setting so much up.
Yeah. And it still moves so fast. Like this week,
it's too fast.
I was like, it's over? What are we doing?
Yeah. I know. So I think we should just go through
like last
sort of in order. So. I have some fun little notes that I'll bring up when we get to certain places. You had texted me about the diner reference in this episode, and I did note that is Pamela's Diner, which is...
Oh, you figured it out?
Oh, they say it very briefly. He says Pamela's. He doesn't say Pamela's Diner.
But
yeah. But Pamela's is a adorable little diner. It's like a local chain of 5 of them. It's so cute. I looked at the menu. It's very like classic diner menu, but with a little bit of a Pittsburgh twist.
Love that.
You can have like an omelet, I think, with corned beef in it, which I know you don't eat meat. I don't really either anymore, but
But if you were there, you might have to, like, that's one of those things where maybe you would. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Their menu looked really, like, appealing. And apparently they're really good. They keep getting voted, like, best breakfast in Pittsburgh.
Hold on, I think I've been here. I've been here twice. I love that. I just searched my texts. May 2022, Pittsburgh rules. Do you remember the name of the place we ate in Pittsburgh that time? The super cramped diner with the street robot. Pittsburgh was the first place I saw.
Oh,
those Pamela's. That wasn't a test, but I figured it out. Anyway, yeah, they have like rolled pancakes there that were so good. Anyway, shout out Pamela's.
Yes. Okay, we are back.
Wow, it's like I'm on the Pitt.
We literally just pick up from the second we left off last week with Dr. El-Hashimi staring intently at a baby. Mm-hmm. We don't find out anything, though. They just interrupt. Okay. Before we go any further, I want to talk about the baby. So this new TikTok that I started is already reaping benefits because somebody posted on our TikTok that they had heard someone speculate or seen speculation that the baby is the baby of the girl who was trying to get an abortion last episode. And I think that it's unlikely that that's the case, but it is, the timing works, which is the reason I was interested in it, because it's literally the baby's about a month old and this is about 10 months after. And again, you know, she was at a certain number of weeks, so maybe it doesn't work. But anyway, there was that speculation going around that I thought was interesting. Just like people are wondering if the malpractice suit is like measles kid or...
exactly. It's fun to speculate even if the likelihood is low. It's just, this might be the Yellow Jackets of me watching a show that I want everything to be something more. I rewatched 7 a.m. after we recorded, and I know the like going theory is that baby belongs to the woman who we didn't see today, who is deaf or can't hear to some degree, whatever. And I noticed at one point when they're talking about that baby and like who would leave the baby or something, the very next scene is back to that woman, which is like kind of telegraphing to me even more than I realized the first time that they want us to connect them. But
I know.
But also,
I just wonder if that's a red herring.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah. We've got another, in a way, man of science, man of faith.
We do.
Sort of debate.
Man of gut, woman of AI.
Exactly, going on here.
So you said when we first got on that, you know that they're going to make you like Dr. Al-Hashimi eventually. And I also thought that her lack of concern, we're so jumping ahead, but because you mentioned it, her lack of concern about the medication mistake in the recording is Risperdal and whatever she was taking for sleep are very fucking different medications.
Risperdal, heavy duty. Like that is
it's like an antipsychotic.
Yeah, so like, everything about that is troublesome. I have that's the thing too, is I wonder how many people have encountered this in real life. My doctor uses an AI app to...
Mine do not.
Yeah. Mine absolutely does. And she asked if it was okay, and it was one of those things where, like, I love my doctor in general. But the, like, people pleasery part of me, and also the part where my health is in this woman's hands.
Right.
What was I going to do? Say no? Like...
Exactly. It would feel so weird.
Yeah, and especially, like... It doesn't matter, but my office is like it's like overworked. They all are, but mine is just the location that it's in and all is like, I don't want to now make her job harder, kind of like, So
I think that, whether you are like open to your doctor doing that or not, I don't feel like you're given a choice in name only to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. And like we said last week, I understand that there are certain things, especially in medicine and, in science more generally, that AI is like actually useful for in really real ways. I wish there were a different solution for this specific way it's trying to help.
Well, and the show is sort of not subtle about this.
Mm-hmm.
I noted that there are like 2 or 3 times this episode where Robby's gut goes up against the technology-focused AI, enthusiast, and he's right every single time, which makes me think eventually he's going to have to be wrong about something, and I'm wondering if that's going to come like whenever the big crisis happens.
Right. My hope, the thing about the Alashimi stuff is all throughout this episode, and it starts at the beginning, and I said maybe we save this for the end, but I don't know how to talk about her this episode without setting the stage for this, which is Alashimi is obviously a very good doctor. She's never been sued, as far as we know. That doesn't mean, or she's never been named in a malpractice suit, I should say, which doesn't necessarily mean good or bad, but you get the impression, if you take Robby's stuff and the gut, whatever, that like in a very practical sense, she's a good, competent doctor. And there's all this other stuff. There's the AI, there's the being really pushy the day she shows up for taking over for someone's sabbatical. The thing that is tough for me as the, woke, annoying feminist that I am is like, I'm like, why did it have to be
a woman?
Why did it have to be a woman of color, a headstrong woman, like up against Robby? But then I'm also like, but I also don't want to watch 2 like white dudes have this conversation either. I just don't know what the right move is. My hope is that she gets proven wrong about AI, but Robby has to admit that she's that there's like some middle ground here would be really helpful for me as a watcher.
Well, and I saw an interesting sort of, not theory, but like comment on that, the whole thing you're talking about with her being a woman. And it was, I believe, from someone in the medical field. Again, I've been on Reddit recently, which is, I thought I didn't need it for this show, but what's nice about the Pitt Reddit forum is there's doctors and things checking in, also people from Pittsburgh checking in, like giving some background info.
Yeah.
But the person said that in some ways it makes sense that the gut person is a guy and an older white guy, because you could get away with that sort of, they called it like cowboy doctoring. Like you can get away with those sorts of things when you are an establishment type person, like who you would expect to be in that role.
Right.
And if you're a woman trying to become an attending and a woman of color and somebody who like historically wasn't in those leadership roles, like you kind of have to, you can't take a ton of chances.
Right.
Because you'll be punished in a different way.
And if she says she's going with her gut, that's just a woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like not
exactly.
Except Santos and McKay get away with it, though they're under this guy's tutelage.
They're under.
So
yeah, I think that's totally different.
Yeah, I will say the thing about Robby. I read something. It was probably on Reddit, so maybe you did too. I wonder if it's the same post of somebody being like, because he's older white guy, like he just comes in and people trust and accept, and he gets the respect he deserves, and that is so often the case. One little thing I want to remind folks, nobody listening to this, they all know, that is Noah Wyle, who has proven himself for decades to be a competent doctor on TV. And so he came with it built in for other reasons too.
Yeah. And I think like...
And the show knew that when...
I wonder how much they're actually using that to play with us, and how much of this is like straight down the line. Because... like you and I talked a little bit last week about some of the possible misogyny, like not overt misogyny, but some of the like slight differences in the way that he treats female doctors. And
he called it out himself this week a little bit. A
little bit, right. And so like, I think because we love Noah Wyle so much as a human and as as John Carter in ER, and like we have this long history with him, I think it's so much easier to excuse all of the things that would be like red flags if anyone else was doing them. And I don't know if that's like just an incidental part of watching the show, or if the people running this show are knowingly being like, well, you're going to think that he's always right about everything, and we're going to kind of fuck with that and like, you know, play around a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but I do think that I could see Al-Hashimi deciding that being the by-the-book doctor who's technology-focused is kind of her lane. Mm-hmm. That is a place that she could get ahead and be, like, not trying to follow the path that the people before her took because it's not available to her. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So,
well, and especially knowing, hearing her talk about the patient passports, which are analog, those are handwritten, mm-hmm. so that's not, but it's also like one of those frustrating things too, where we know that's what the higher ups and the administration is focused on and is going to be more open to. And if you're trying to secure your place, mm-hmm. like,
that's the thing. She's supposed to only be a 3-month replacement, but also we know that, like, there was an insane number of times that Gloria came downstairs to tell Dr. Robby he needed to increase patient satisfaction. Mm-hmm. Like, last season, it was like a constant drumbeat. And so, like, there is the thought that, well, what if this is sort of Robby's going on sabbatical, Gloria brought in this new sort of technology, patient satisfaction focused person to replace him for 3 months, theoretically, but, like, maybe see how much change can get kind of shoehorned in while he's gone, or, so
you never know.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. All that to say, the AI versus gut thing is from the, like, very beginning of this episode. It's in, like, scene 2 where they're talking about the Kylie, the patient with all the bruises.
That's right.
I'm seeing a lot of people talk about how there's plenty of disorders and bleeding disorders that give you lots of bruising. Some that come with, like, a lack of pain sensitivity as well.
Interesting.
And so there's some thoughts that this might be a red herring that allows, like, 'cause Santos was right about this the last time. Mm-hmm. And literally in this first scene where they're talking about her, Dr. Robby is saying, don't jump to any conclusions.
I love the balance of don't jump to any conclusions, but trust your gut. Like, I think that's kind of reasonable.
It is, but and I also noted here, this is not the last time we'll see Robby sort of, like, protecting his doctors from any, like, judgment or critique from Dr. Al-Hashimi, because basically she's noted this and says, is there something I should know about Santos? And he's like, no, great doctor, just suggesting to, keep your eye on your assumptions, blah, blah, blah. And he does this a number of times where she's asking how things are going. And he's like, they're doing great. Like, not going to critique any of his people in front of her.
Which I think is, this show's so good because, like, there is a little bit of the, like, because he is already bristly toward her, he doesn't want, but it's also so easy. I mean, I did it all last season to make these quick assumptions on these people based on very little info and then have that shade how you treat and feel about them moving forward. So I like that he's, trying to slow that down.
Yeah. And I also noted just a repeating thread that I think starts here, or might start a little bit later in the episode, of Santos and Langdon making eye contact with each other in, like, a sort of standoffish sort of way. Mm-hmm. That's just they don't have a confrontation this episode, but we know it's coming.
Yeah, I feel like I've said this 10 times this week. Curious to see how that plays out, because it could go, Santos being, I could see it going a million different ways.
Yeah. We get a check-in about Mr. Williams, the guy with the inconsistent personality, let's say, that McKay's working with. She has not yet called his family to find out if there's any psychiatric history. So we'll see where that goes. Again, it's speculation, but I've seen people bring up, like, traumatic brain injury and the, like, lasting sort of later effects that show up later. Yeah. Personality changes.
Yeah.
But we'll see. There's so much, like, gore in this show. I kind of like to gloss over it, but there's the whole guy with the arm out of its socket.
Again, one of my biggest fears.
Yeah. I think the notable character things in this scene, because I do not want to talk about the medicine of it. I'm not qualified to, nor am I capable of it. But what is happening in this scene to me, so it's Dr. Garcia, Dr. McKay, Dr. King, and Dr. Robby. Mel is completely distracted. Like, in a way where I'm kind of like, look, I know you're stressed, but like, Mel,
you got to get your head in the
there's
game.
a person with an open shoulder in front of you. Like, let's get, our head in the game. McKay is very competent in this scene. Very like on top of everything, knows the answers to all the questions, which I love, because I don't want Dr. McKay to be just the like sort of irresponsible but fun doctor. I like to see her have a chance to be on top of everything. But the best part of this whole thing, and I don't think it's in this section of it, but it's coming up, and I don't think we need to like wait for it, is Dr. Garcia's line. So Al-Hashimi is talking about getting the patient up to ortho and taking care of it in the OR. And Dr. Garcia says, I am the OR.
I am the OR.
As she's like pulling on like pulling on the shoulder, basically.
So yeah.
I am the OR.
It's really good.
I really see the, like, we mentioned this last week. I see the Santos and Garcia, like, why those two. There's just a bravado that they both have that I think is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I buy it. But again, just more of Dr. Al-Hashimi just not taking a second to get the lay of the land. And then they're not kind about it. Like, when she says, let's get an opinion from ortho, and like,
they laugh.
Like, outright in her face. And I'm like, nobody is doing anybody any favors to get along here. Like,
no.
So
we check in with Louis. This is not going to go well. I know. There's so many things. So Ogilvy and Joy are still hanging out. Whitaker's not going to let them actually do this procedure, which I think is actually a good thing.
Yeah,
because as we see in this episode, as it goes forward, Ogilvy he knows a lot. But that doesn't mean he's a good doctor. He's got a lot of book knowledge, but who knows how that's going to translate to actual interaction.
Doing too much.
Yeah. And then Joy is just on her fucking phone.
I still don't have a sense. I know we're only 2 hours into the shift, but of what they're trying to get us, how we're supposed to feel about her. That's obviously a bad thing. But
yeah,
it's her first day. Even if you are a disinterested, kind of checked out, kind of always on your phone person, you'd think 2 hours into your first day, you'd be faking it a little bit. And so what's going on here?
Yeah. No,
is she hoping to not? Is she like, did she get matched somewhere shitty and she's hoping they'll get rid of her? Like, what's...
Right. Yeah. No, she definitely is not even trying to act the part.
Right.
Which is a little bit distressing. Louis is... I wanted to say he's like letting out a lot of fluids or something. Like, it's just really gross.
He's in for an oil change.
I am worried, and this is getting a little ahead again in the episode because we jump around a lot, but I'm a little bit worried that, because Whitaker last season had this big, like, trauma where he lost a patient right away. And it was because in his mind, he missed something, right? Even though he was reassured that, like, it wasn't his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Louis is dying.
Yeah.
Louis doesn't just need an oil change. Like, Louis, I think, is in heart failure. Like, he's having trouble breathing. It's not just that he needs to be, like, drained and go out and come back. Like, that tooth infection...
When you have heart, everything about it is.
Yep. That tooth infection is like, it can go to your heart. Like, it's just.
Yeah. And we talked about it last week that, and you're not saying this, but it feels unlikely that Whitaker doesn't know that there's more going on here. But as a doctor, it's still his job, even if he knows Louis not interested in anything other than being as comfortable as he can until he dies. And for him, that's drinking as much as he can, like, you know,
but yeah,
dealing with the pain. But Whitaker still, as his doctor, needs to tell him.
Well, that's why I brought up the sort of quote unquote miss from last season, because the fact that not only is no one bringing up the like connection or possible connection between the tooth infection and like heart failure and all this other stuff, which if I'm a random person on the internet,
yeah, I was just going to say, if we know
like,
that, yeah.
Right. But not only is he not bringing it up, but like Robby has popped his head in and knows about the tooth infection. Langdon knows about it. They all know about it. And so it kind of feels like, is it what you're saying? Like he's been there so much that they're just not registering that this is more?
Right.
Like that there's more that they need to be doing, because regardless of his desires to continue and like just manage his symptoms, like you said, like there's no doctor that's going to see someone with an active, like that's in active heart failure and try not to do something about it.
Right. Exactly.
So I just am really worried about it, about Louis being a lesson for someone.
Yeah, totally.
You know, whether it's Langdon or Whitaker or Ogilvy, like the new kid, or the, you know, AI lady, like.
Right. I mean, I think that is what he's being set up for, right? Which is sad. And they've made him so lovable. So, of course. I know. But we'll see. We are at this point when we first see him only an hour and maybe 15 minutes into their day. So hopefully there's a lot that can happen before, but I will not be surprised if we lose Louis this season.
No, I don't see how we get around it. Yeah. Like this is sort of for anyone that, and thankfully I'm not one of those people, but for anyone that's known someone in the end stages of alcohol addiction, like this is how people die.
Right.
Unfortunately. Yeah. So we get one little humorous break here.
It's funny.
The eye glue.
The woman who glued her eyelashes, that was super glue. I'm glad that she knew it was stupid. Before we actually get into the little clues and stuff she gives, I was thinking about how even though the show each season is only one day long, they still manage to do the like myth arc versus monster of the week scenes. Like it's not per episode, it's like per patient. You get Louis is one of our myth arcs.
Yep.
This lady is a monster of the week.
Absolutely.
I think that's such a smart way to do this. So
did you know that the woman who plays her is Patrick Ball's real life girlfriend? Langdon?
Oh, I love that. No.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. They're together in real life.
Good for them.
Which I thought was funny because the way they talk to each other in this is very like, it's a little more casual than you would expect from a doctor-patient interaction.
Yeah.
Because she says, oh my God, am I going to go blind? And he says, no, I'm pretty sure that this is something we can fix. Pretty sure is not a technical doctor term.
No. And what he would have said and what we've heard them say is like one of those non-committal, we're going to do everything we can to help you out here. But no, he just pretty sure. Yeah. I was like looking at his online presence. And
Patrick Ball.
Patrick Ball. He's just like a kind of like silly theater guy on the show. And it just really, I heard him talking about how, you know, last season he had the like friendship, the like Taylor Swift friendship bracelet with his daughter's names or something. I forget what on them. And he was saying like that was really important to him. He thinks of Dr. Langdon as being kind of like silly and whimsical, which is interesting to hear. Cause like, you know, he bought that dog for his kids. Like he is a little, and now this season it's replaced. He's got the Alcoholics Anonymous little piece of jewelry.
Production took the bracelet away from him. It made me. I've seen some speculation about like what's going on with his marriage because.
You know, I didn't even think about that.
You don't buy a dog.
Yeah. Without
your spouse like being in on it together, like as a decision as a family. You don't just say, "Oh, I got everyone a dog," like,
and then go to rehab for however long. It's not funny, but yeah.
No, but like there was definitely some hints in the beginning that like he was trying to maybe work on his relationship in a really
whimsical way.
Misguided,
derogatory,
misguided way. And so, I don't know what the status of Langdon's marriage is, but I have some concerns. But the interesting hint we get from this patient specifically is she has to talk to Dr. J. And Langdon hasn't been in the ER the last 9 or 10 months, so I don't know why he thinks he knows literally everyone.
Right.
But he's like, no, I don't think so. Yeah, there's no Dr. J here. I think he's talking about Jodie, or she's talking about Jodie.
Oh.
And the reason I think that is because one of Jodie's cases from our last episode was the influencer with the mercury poisoning.
Yeah.
Like, does Jodie have like a TikTok doctor account where she like solves beauty related medical
Jodie, hold on. I love this. And she's Dr. J on TikTok.
That's what I'm saying. I think that maybe Jodie has like a side hustle.
Yeah. And when that woman was saying she like, whatever, wanted to see Dr. J work, so she didn't say, because I don't think she says like, I saw her. Does she say like, I saw her last time I was in here? No, she says
she'll know what to do.
Which would be such a fun little Jodie surprise that I wouldn't be. I hope you're right. That's so
I hope
funny.
so too. I feel like I've definitely taken one sentence that one person said and built an entire world about it. But like, I do think that they put that there for a reason. The only person that we know of that has the last name with J is Jodie. And there's that beauty
I didn't
connection.
Make that connection that Dr. J that there is a Dr. J.
Yeah.
That's.
The patient said she works here in the ER.
Yeah.
Like, so it can't be her mom.
My thought, I didn't think about anything like that. But I want that to be so true. My thought was it was going to be one of those, like, it's the person who does this woman's, I don't even know I can't picture her face well enough to say that she's had clearly any work done or anything like they did last season. But like those horror stories you get, like the woman who got the butt injections of somebody lying and just saying, I work it. But I think the seeds have been way more planted for what you just suggested.
I would love to get Jodie as like TikTok advice beauty doctor person.
That's what Joy has been looking at this whole time.
Yeah, she's watching TikToks by Jodie. Yeah,
and then like, or she's on TikTok and she swipes, and then all of a sudden she's like,
"Right,
is this you?
Is it you?" I'm telling you. I mean, like legally, she can't be giving medical advice on TikTok, but
I don't know. I mean, well, as long as she says this isn't medical advice.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of doctors that do.
Yeah,
during COVID especially, there was a huge rise in that happening. So we pop in with Louis again, but it's basically what we were talking about. Joy is staring at her phone. Ogilvy is spouting facts, and Robby is saying they're doing great. That's basically it. Mm-hmm. We get Dana and Santos at the nurse's station because Santos wants to talk to the social worker about her patient. Yeah. We find out that Kiara's not here today.
I know, it's a bummer.
It is a bummer. I liked her a lot, and I don't know if she's going to be back this season or not, but according to production, the story is just that she's off that day.
Right, which makes sense. The idea
maybe
that
she'll come in another way, but
I would like that.
I would too. But so Nurse Dana is trying to find out who the other social worker is, which I'm very excited about that though. Mm-hmm. Jodie and Santos are talking about how Santos wants to do a double residency, and Jodie's like, you just can't. Mm-hmm. Because I couldn't. So how could you?
It's cool to see their dynamic shift. It's still a little prickly, but in like a warmer, more familiar way. Jodie is like, when Santos says like, oh, why? Because you're a genius and you couldn't. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, actually, that is why. She wouldn't have said that like that last season, Yeah. We find out that the social worker we're about to meet is named Dylan Easton. Mm-hmm. They're coming down, and then Santos gets such good lines. Can I tell you something? I love Santos, and I always have.
Yeah, no, we've always loved Santos.
Yeah, yep.
This is a pro Santos podcast.
And it always has been. It always will be.
Yep. Giovanni says, oh shit, I have a nun with conjunctivitis. Her swab is showing gram-negative intracellular diplococci. Gonorrhea? Come to Jesus.
Come to Jesus.
The lab must have made a mistake. Maybe it's an immaculate infection. So good.
Hold on. Oh, I don't know which one of these is actually better for this. Is it?
Oh no, the soundboard is back.
Is it that one or is it?
It doesn't work if you do it like 10 minutes after I say the line.
Hold on. Because it could, or it could also be.
Oh my god.
Oh god, I always forget how long this one is.
It's a lot.
Listeners, get in the comments. Let me know. Do you think that should have been a rim shot or an air horn?
Oh my god. I really like that Dana is trying to like tell Santos to just take it back, take it down a notch. And Santos is like, there's a nun with gonorrhea in her eye. Seriously, you guys are going to take this away from me?
I get it.
I mean, like, that's so real. Like, if you're someone who works in a place that is constantly inundated with trauma and horror, like, silly, like, the nun's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a patient that is, like, on death's door that you're joking about. Like,
right.
She's fine.
And nobody, I just can't believe, I guess applause. I could have also given her an applause break for immaculate infection. That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, Digby's also getting a whole new wardrobe. So I like that she says we'll get him a whole new wardrobe. I know she's joking, but he is going to get to leave the hospital with a new set of clothes. That happens in this scene too. They trash his old stuff.
This kind of segues into the cast removal, which is the thing that I texted you. We try not to spoil, little behind the scenes, we try not to spoil things for each other if one of us has been watching a little bit ahead. But I also know that this is something that could bother you more than me, which is rare. So I did text you and just say something about, I want to give you a trigger warning, but I don't want to spoil anything. So I'm just going to say that.
Perfect. I was just braced for anything.
Yeah. And you knew immediately when you saw this scene
totally
that this was what I was talking about.
This is what makes the show so good, though, because before the scene, like, all he says, like, it's getting itchy. And so before anything else happened, I texted you. And I said, like, these people should be, like, this isn't horrifically not all that uncommon.
No.
I knew that this was a possibility.
Yeah.
The same way, I don't think we talked about it last season. I diagnosed that hair tourniquet on that screaming baby in 2 seconds last season. It didn't take them very long, but that hot tip, I don't even have kids. If you've got a screaming baby and none of the normal stuff is working, check their toes for a hair tourniquet. It's always a hair tourniquet. And
such a random thing to know.
It's, again, a big fear of mine whenever I'm around other people's kids. I'm always checking, especially because I have long hair. Similarly, I was like, they should have been prepared for this. But
well, I think they were. I think it's just Emma's reaction that they were all waiting for.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. I was like, oh, they're good doctors. They knew this was happening.
Yeah, they knew
immediately. They just wanted it to be a surprise for Emma.
Yeah. Exactly. Did
we actually say the word out loud? Did we say, I mean, you've watched the show. If you're listening to this, it's full of maggots.
Yeah. And the one thing I didn't like about this scene is how, which, I mean, it's realistic, but like the shame on Digby's face, it's not his fault. Like, he's unhoused and he doesn't have access to medical care or like showers very regularly. Like, give me a break.
And again, it doesn't only happen to unclean people. Like,
no, and I'm not saying that it's the show's fault. Like, I understand that they're trying to point out like something that,
you know what, though,
like, their heart is in the right place, but also I do feel like it was a little bit like, look at this homeless person.
Well, and they've done it a few times where it is like you said, like, I know that a lot of it is realistic, and also that they do have those conversations that are a little more compassionate to the unhoused people in Pittsburgh. But then also, like, the unhoused people that we've really seen is the guy who had a bunch of rats in his jacket.
I know. It's a little bit callous.
Yeah, who smelled so bad that the whole ER let him go ahead, and then he was full of maggots. Like, there's there's a way to be a little...
I don't love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it didn't have to be the, like, unclean, unhoused person with the maggots in the cast. It could have been...
Right.
That does
Or there
happen.
didn't have to be maggots in the cast. There could have been it could have been a different story. Like, I don't know. I'm a little bothered by so far that piece of it.
Yeah. I think you got to have maggots in a cast if you're doing an emergency room show, again, because I think it is horrifically a little more common than people think. But again, I think it would be interesting if he were the smelly guy, they open the cast, it's fine, and then somebody else with a cast comes in and they've got the maggots, and
right.
Then we get to talk about, about that.
Yeah.
Back to back. My biggest fear to my other biggest fear. Next
Yeah,
scene.
we keep jumping back and forth between like open wounds and bugs. But they pop the shoulder back in with this like with Mel like basically putting her hand inside the guy's shoulder. Like, oh, I mean, I had shoulder surgery last year. Like, I don't even want to think about this either. But
it's probably not how they did it, but you'd have no way of knowing, I don't think.
No, it's true. I wish that Dr. King, less distracted Dr. King, had been one of my doctors. That would have been nice. Hang out and like talk about Ren Fair, which we'll get to. But right after this, Robby does talk to Mel and is like, hey, you don't seem okay.
I love him. If I mention
And I love how literal her brain is, because he says, do you want to talk about it? And she says, I'm not allowed to. He says, no, we don't have to talk about the deposition, but we can talk about how it's affecting you. And he says, I've been sued 4 times myself. Dr. Al, I've never been named in a lawsuit. Now, I do want to talk about this real quick because there are a couple of reasons for this. One, she's an amazing doctor, never had a problem, always followed procedures, blah, blah, blah. Number 2, we see her leave the room at some point when Robby is doing something that she doesn't approve of and saying, I don't want to fuck up my record, basically.
That wording, I've never been named in a deposition, is not, I've never done anything. I've never made a mistake. Yeah. That's a really good point.
And it means that she could be, when things come up that she doesn't feel comfortable with, just not participating, which is like, I think I saw someone call it defensive medicine, and it's not the best for patient care.
Right.
And then also because she came from the VA hospital, apparently, and I am not a lawyer or a doctor,
right,
but I did see someone in the field say that when you work at a VA hospital, you are not named, like if someone sues, they're suing like the federal overseeing thing. So
she might not be, that you might not be named anyone, no matter what, no matter how good of a doctor you are.
So I don't think that that's actually necessarily a like gold star for her. I think that there's other factors.
I could totally see that being the case.
When we go back to Sister Grace, the nun with gonorrhea, I like the fact that a more sensational, like if this was Grey's Anatomy, that nun would be a nun in name only and like having sex at a senior center or something, right?
Which,
instead,
do your thing, but this is...
Right, totally. But I like the fact that they're making... This show is not very subtle typically, but they are making some subtle nods to the fact that they're making obvious nods and subtle nods to the fact that the healthcare system is failing people, as are most of our social systems, because this nun has gonorrhea because she works at a shelter and is constantly changing sheets and clothes and things like that. And it's like, we shouldn't need this in a society where we cared for people who can't care for themselves. She wouldn't have this as a way to, keep herself busy.
Right. And the next best thing would be that if she's there, she has all of the materials she needs to do it safely. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end, that's Dr. Mohan says we can scrounge up a couple boxes of gloves. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
But we do get the great line. I know what gonorrhea is, Dr. Javadi. I'm a nun, not a numbskull.
It's so good.
She's got lines. I like it.
It made me miss the nun from Evil. And now I don't remember her name.
Oh, yeah. I liked her a lot.
She was cool as hell.
She's a badass.
Yeah. That's a line she could say.
Yeah. This is going to be a recurring Groundhog Day.
50 first dates.
50 first dates. Yeah. 50 first times you're told that your husband died. This poor woman.
I know.
her name is Evelyn, I think. Her husband was Ethan. Ethan passed away. They brought her to the hospital to see him, not knowing that he had just died. And now
they found her wandering in traffic.
Right. Yes, they found her wandering. They brought her to the hospital, partly because her husband was there also, though. And then, like, he died. He was the one who died very peacefully the last episode. And now she has Alzheimer's, and Whitaker has to tell her multiple times because she keeps forgetting that her husband has passed.
Did you read anything about, like, what the standard is for people with, like, are you supposed to do this?
So you are, I think, legally required to, like, somebody I was listening to was saying, like, well, do they even have to tell her? Yes, they have to tell her.
Okay.
But, like, do they have to tell her 3 times? Debatable.
Right. Okay.
But I think that it is a very sweet moment to me for Whitaker because he is showing her the same amount of care each time.
Yeah.
He's not getting frustrated with her, not to her anyway.
Right.
Like, and he's trying everything he can to kind of like make her understand, but with so much like gentleness. So, but it's not working.
Such a good doctor.
Yeah, I also noted in the first time he tells her and she starts crying, he is holding her hand in a very Dr. Robby sort of way.
It's very sweet.
We meet Dylan in our next scene. Dylan is played by Becca Blackwell, an actor and playwright originally from Ohio, which, as we have said, is
Jersey adjacent.
Jersey cousin. I really like Dylan. I like their man bun. I like the ginger of it all. I like the whole vibe.
Yeah. I'm sad to see Kara go, but if you're gonna bring in this, like,
maybe we'll get both. Maybe we'll get Kara back too.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I think most of these ERs could use more than one social worker.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't get a ton with Dylan, but they're definitely like competent, thoughtful. They say like,
yeah, seems like a good vibe, respected. Like they come down. You know, Robby recognizes them. They say, is this the tumble down the stairs kid? Dylan is trying to suss out from their perspective if anything else is going on there. We get now we get your moment. We're about to, well, not quite yet, but we're about to go into the baby. Got to make the baby pee. I was trying to figure out as a non-doctor what Alashimi could be looking for because she seems very concerned about getting the urine sample proper. I don't know. I'm not going to figure it out, I'm sure, because if the doctors have read it, haven't posted already what they think it is. But Robby says that he wants to avoid the trauma of a catheter for a baby. Makes sense. And he says, I may have a trick or two up my sleeve. Dr. Williams is going up for his CT. He likes donuts. He's very jovial now for some reason. Which is also fucking disconcerting.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think Robby says like, he's coming around, and I'm like, yeah. I don't think it's that easy. I don't think they set all this up for him to suddenly be coming around. So we'll see.
Mel is attending to her bike accident patient, and again, I would find this annoying if he's constantly like, now he's really like, he was hitting on her supposedly last episode. He's still being like, hey, what do you do for fun?
Yeah.
It's like, is he trying to distract her? Is he hitting on her? Is he flirting with her? What is he doing?
Yeah, I feel like, it's fun to watch Mel be flirted at and to get to learn a little bit more about her. But I just blanket statement, don't hit on people at their jobs. Like,
yes, exactly.
Just don't do that. But then he, big surprise, he's a scumbag.
The answer to this, though, I thought was funny. She says, I mainly do what my sister likes. She loves Kennywood and the zoo. And I found out, thanks to the Pittsburghers on Reddit, that Kennywood is an amusement park in Pennsylvania. And someone on Reddit said, Kennywood's the one with the Garfield ride that people fuck in, right? Which is the most Jersey fucking sentence. This is why I love Pennsylvania people.
Say that.
And that person responded, it closed in 2020 and got replaced, but I wouldn't be surprised if people did. So apparently Kennywood had a Garfield ride that people would fuck in.
I would have loved to have seen that Garfield ride.
I know, me too. right before he knocks her off the chair, though, because he sees the cops, we find out that she used to like the Ren Fair and she had an alter ego of a 17th century French woman.
She says, I listened back.
Yeah.
What she actually had was an alter ego that was a 17th century French woman's alter ego. It's 2 layers removed.
I missed the end of that.
Well, because she gets knocked out in the middle of it, but she's saying alter ego.
That's incredible.
That's serious world and character building right there.
Did you ever go to a Ren Fair?
Oh, I've been to the PA Ren Fair, which
I
is
thought so.
The Ren Fair. It rules.
Yeah. Because I asked because I know people that are like Ren Fair people.
Right. I'm not one of those, but I've been, and it's the coolest.
Yeah, I went to the one that's in like, I almost said upstate New York, and that is not right. Rockland County, like New York, right above where I grew up. There's one up there. I went during my like hippie college days, and there was some overlap of like, you know, stalls that sold leather jewelry and that
makes sense.
Flowy
tapestries and
yeah. It was a good vibe. But Mel gets knocked over, and she says that was a doozy.
Oh.
So maggots for you. One of the things I can't stand is the sound of somebody hitting the ground. Like that just really bothers me. I can't do it, especially if it's someone's head.
Yeah.
But the hitting the head thing, I mean, like, I hope that it's just so that she can take a moment and Langdon can be nice to her, and not because we're going to have some sort of head injury storyline. I can't. We need Mel to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Wow, I didn't even let myself entertain the idea that it was going to be any more than that. So now I'm worried, but I hope you're right.
Oh, God. Now we get the being baby. We get Jesse back.
And we get Jesse back. This scene is everything to me.
Yeah. It's got some bad puns or good puns. It's got some joking. It's got me writing in all caps in my notes. He holds baby.
Yeah, he holds baby.
He holds baby.
He holds baby like somebody who's been holding babies. He's so sweet and tender about it. He loves babies. You can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got dad energy.
Yeah. Which I'm a little like, about.
Yeah, well, we found out last season that he just hasn't had any kids of his own, but he was sort of a faux step-parent figure to Jake when he was with we
gotta get mom. Robby some kids.
Somebody said on Reddit, get that man pregnant, and I laughed really hard. Oh, God.
Alshimi's still being annoying here, though.
I know. She's citing facts that Robbie's like, not in the British Medical Journal.
That's the thing, too, is that, like, we're under the assumption, and I believe this to be true, that she is on paper and probably in practice a generally very good doctor.
Right.
But so then you should
know that. Yeah.
You're not keeping up with the British Medical Journal. It's not like some.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. It's not Men's Health.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They did the research.
He's the best.
Oh, that's so good. He also says he was going to invite her to join the softball team, but now he's not so sure.
That's right. It is also so funny and mean that he makes her catch the pee, but if she wants to be there for it.
Yeah. Somebody's got to catch the pee.
Somebody's got to catch the pee. And then he says, first, he like very skillfully and quickly gets that baby rediapered, picks her up, but he says, someone must have been in a bad way to walk away from you, little one.
I know. I know. She, as Alshimi's walking away, she says, let me know what the urine dip shows. And he says to the baby,
yeah,
we will let you know what the urine dip shows. It's so good.
I love it so much.
I was so happy.
I was really worried that was going to be like Chekhov's baby and we weren't going to see him pick her up until, hour 15.
I would like to be a little bit angry with this show, though, for reminding me that despite my best efforts and everything that's happened to me, I am still occasionally attracted to men. Like, it's just not fair.
Well, when it's doctor, you had to give him, again, a beard, glasses, had to put a baby in his arms.
Yeah.
He had to be a doctor in a hoodie last season. That really was like, there's just a lot. It's a real recipe.
Got those slutty glasses on.
Yeah. They really,
Yeah, it's kind of unfair, but it is what it is. Langdon and Dr. Al meet. She says, I've heard all about you.
Shut up.
Yeah.
No, you
Fuck
haven't.
off.
Let me be shitty about her uncritically in terms of critical awareness, not being critical. I'm being very critical of her. For like another hour, and then I can start being a little more nuanced. I mean,
they did not give us much reason this episode to give her grace, but
especially here. Ugh.
Yeah. And so she's bringing up the app on her phone. To me, the way that she was explaining this to the patient was so, like, it triggered something in me as someone who's had a lot of interaction with the medical field. It was very, like, talk to me like I'm a human being.
Yes.
Like, it was a little bit condescending, and I don't know, I'm sure that wasn't intentional, but maybe it was. I don't know. I did not like it, though.
Yeah, I felt that as well, for sure.
Yeah. But Langdon is nodded away by Dana to go check on Mel. Mm-hmm. And I love that he's got this deadpan, like, he says, let's find her a room and prep for a burr hole. She's like, what? So funny.
And she gets it, though, and she says, I forget how much you like to joke or something, Captain Scurvy.
Yeah.
And then he says it's an inside thing. He won't say joke, but he does.
Right.
It's cute. I thought it was it was just a very sweet little moment. It's an inside thing. They've got an inside thing.
They do. They have inside things. I love it. I also just the second time I watched the episode, I noted that very sweetly here, Perla is just massaging Mel's shoulders while they're checking on her and putting her hands on her to keep her calm. It's really sweet. Perla and Princess are the, like, Statler and Waldorf of this ER.
I was totally going to say they're like, it's Statler and Waldorf or like a little bit of the like
Greek chorus.
Yeah, or like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. They're just like always around and able to really pinpoint exactly what's going on everywhere. And it's very cool.
Yeah. No, I like them. I also really like Princess's hair with the braids. It's really cute. That's like, it's a good work hairstyle. Like if you work somewhere where you gotta have your hair out of your face.
Right, yeah. Is this where we meet Nurse Hastings?
Belay that order, sailor.
Huh. Nurse Hastings, huh?
Uh-huh.
Noelle?
Yep. Yes, this is the actor Meta Golding. Apparently was once a competitive ice skater.
Cool.
And then once she had an injury, she started acting. Apparently donates much of her spare time to an orphanage in Mexico.
This cast is...
I know. I'm telling you. That's why I wrote that down. Like, they're all just the most interesting people you've ever met, just all in the same room together. This was so fucking awkward.
Because that's the thing, is like, McKay knows something's up immediately.
Yeah.
Robby says it's her heightened sense of empathy.
Right.
And Dana also clocks it immediately. And you could say it's
the fact
also
that they're being ridiculously weird.
They're being so weird. She's right.
Yeah, they're like, he's purposely not looking at her as he's talking. Like, it's really awkward. This is also a nod to the ridiculousness of insurance companies, because the whole reason she's there is because they have to move him to a different hospital.
Well,
to get surgery somewhere else because his insurance won't cover it there.
Robby, the thing too, would have put up a bigger fight if he weren't involved with Nurse Hastings.
Yeah. And apparently this is possibly a veiled reference to a real conflict in Pittsburgh about a decade ago where the two main hospitals refused to accept each other's insurance policies. And they got dragged through the courts, and they had this compromise about emergency treatment. So yeah, somebody that's from Pittsburgh was saying that their guess is that they didn't want to get sued by actually being specifically naming that it was these two hospitals or whatever. But yeah, theoretically that's a reference to some nonsense
awful
that went on for real in Pittsburgh. But at the end of this conversation, they walk away and she says, I don't understand why you can't leave in the morning. So, like, how long has this been going on?
Yeah. Well, and also, like, he probably could leave in the morning.
Of course he could.
And so...
Yeah, he's running away.
Right.
He's riding away on a motorcycle with no helmet.
Mm-hmm.
She talks to herself and says, "Oh, you gotta stop this." Dana sees everything.
Uh-huh. Of course she does.
She says, "I hope you know what you're doing."
She says, "I'm a big girl," right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, she says, "What's that supposed to mean? I'm a big girl." And Dana says, "Okay, big girl."
Can we kind of have to talk about Dana's accent, because it has come up so much online that it's like thicker this season.
Yeah.
Have we gotten any indication from the show that Dana is supposed to be from Pittsburgh? Because she's not doing a Pittsburgh accent.
She's not doing Pittsburgh, no.
And it seems like a lot of people think what we're hearing is her a bad attempt at a Pittsburgh accent.
Yeah.
I don't think
to
that's
me it sounds like
happening.
a bad attempt at a North Jersey accent.
Jodie, that was my thought too.
Yeah.
Or because like especially that comment, I know Pittsburgh and Philly have that tension to begin with, but last season when she says like this isn't Philly, it's a hospital for Christ's sake, where it's like I'm saying that accent. I'm not defending that accent. It is kind of wild, but
yeah.
I think she's trying to give us some information about where Dana might actually be from. And I don't think it's Pittsburgh, and I do think it's accent it's bordering on, do you know who I'm going to say? From Yellow Jackets.
Allie, right?
Allie. Yes, Allie. That's exactly right.
And Allie's from Long Island.
That's her, but it's her bad attempt at a Jersey accent. Right. So yeah. I love Dana. I love the actor who plays her. This accent is bananas, but I think it's a little less bananas than this is her version of a Pittsburgh accent, because that would be doubly bizarre.
I mean, if we find out that Dana is from fucking Bergen County,
I hope we find out that Dana's from wherever this actor's actually from, and she's been putting on an accent to
fit in
to feel tough. Because she comes back from her break with a leather jacket, spitting gum out, and a thicker accent as a little bit of body armor.
Right.
So.
Yeah, Catherine Janessa is from New Orleans.
So I love the idea that she's like, who could stand up against Pittsburgh? Very few cities, but maybe a North Jersey city or so. So yeah. I just wanted to take a second for
Keep
that.
An eye on that.
Keeps coming up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our next scene is the one that made me the most emotional. It's Mel and Langdon.
Good.
This is a couple things going on. He's caring for her post-injury. He's also trying to make amends at the same time. And it's just like, so he tells her where he's been, basically. She says, "I don't like to listen to rumors." And he says, "I was in rehab." And she says, "Oh, for an addiction to benzos." Oh. But he claims it didn't affect his work. Excuse me, Robby. No, I'm not Robby. Excuse me. Of course it affected your work.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that for someone who seems to be really trying to do right.
Yeah, be accountable.
And I believe now that he is no longer on drugs, it just seems odd to still be leaning on that. Unless he really believes that still. Because maybe nobody ever got hurt because of it.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it wasn't affecting your work.
Right. That doesn't mean that he was doing his best.
Yeah. You were taking pills from patients. I
would say that affects your work. Yes. Yeah. You took Louis Librium. That counts.
So, but he's doing such a good job otherwise that I'm willing to forgive him for that, I guess.
"I let a lot of people down." And Mel says, "You never let me down."
Oh, really sweet.
And to his credit, he says, "Yes, I did."
Yeah, I know. I really liked
he should have been setting an example.
Yeah. It probably felt good for him to hear that, but then he didn't just kind of let her comfort him.
Right. And then the cops come in, and I actually heard Taylor Dearden refer to what Mel does here as stimming, which I thought was interesting. She starts kind of rubbing her arms because she's stressed out. That was such like a interesting and realistic moment to have in the show. I feel like if they have characters with autism on TV, typically they're like either more extreme versions of autism or they just kind of like don't know how to depict that kind of stress in a way that's not full on meltdown.
Right.
I really liked this. And Langdon sees it and he turns the lights off.
And he says like it can be a little bright and noisy in the yard, which he learned from her last season with the was he the tabletop tennis or ping pong? I forget.
Yes.
What his sport was, but
who'd like twisted his ankle. Yeah.
It's perfect. I love that because he's doing the right thing. He's comforting her. He's also showing that he learned from her. Like everything about it's just a perfect little moment for the two of them.
And like one thing that we often think about is like, if this was a lesser show, right? This relationship would be her having a silly little crush on him and him being the like handsome doctor that tolerated her. But that's not what this is. Like she really likes him. I don't know that she has a crush on him. I don't care. Like, I think she really just connected to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he
that's
really likes her.
I get.
You know, I really appreciate that they didn't do this the obvious way. We now get the thing we brought up at the very beginning where Dr. Al is using the app on her phone that confuses Risperdal for Restoril. Two very different medications. This is Joy. This is Joy's best and only good moment.
It is really good.
Where she says, AI, almost intelligent.
Get him.
I do not like how defensive Dr. Al is about this.
I know.
It's just generative AI is 98% accurate at present. You must always carefully proofread and correct the minor errors. It's excellent, but not perfect. That's not a minor error.
No, that's a huge error. And also, did we see her correct it?
I don't know.
I don't think we see her correct it in that scene because then that fucking nerd, Ogilvy, we find out he speaks a little Farsi and I think she gets distracted then, but then Dr. Alshimi says, I'm impressed. And this is actually Joy's second good line.
Right.
Me too. That you have friends.
Yeah. I also wrote in my notes when she says, so you learned the language, and Ogilvy says, enough to break the ice. I wrote that he said it sluttily. I don't know why that's like my word for this episode, but it definitely was kind of flirty.
Yeah, it was. Which, get out of here, you. Just stop.
I know.
I was sort of interested in this character on the show last week, and now he's just annoying to me. Leave.
I do like the idea of him as a foil for Javadi, though.
Yeah.
Like, watching her see someone that is sort of a mirror to her, like, naked ambition and brilliance. Ogilvy does then go with Whitaker for the second attempt to tell Ethan's wife that Ethan has passed. I noted here that so Dylan walks up, tells Whitaker that he needs to check on her. Ogilvy starts just drifting off down the hallway. Like,
this isn't
very casually Homer into the bush. And he's like, nope, Ogilvy, you're with me.
Not for me, yeah.
But I will say, too, the only nice thing I'll say about this character is that, to his credit, when he walks into the room with Whitaker, sees her like that, he does snap into doctor mode. He does suddenly start being very serious about what's going on with the patient. That's
true. That's very true.
We get a little bit more with Kylie. She lives in an apartment. She goes horseback riding.
The more you said, red herring earlier about her, and she says apartment, and they exchange a knowing glance, and I texted you, half in jest, an apartment with stairs, which I think is what they were thinking. But sometimes apartments have stairs, and she could be on the second floor, but they do exchange this look where it feels like that's what they're thinking.
I think part of this character's purpose is to push them into, making assumptions.
Exactly.
That aren't actually true.
Yeah, because I don't think you would hear that line and think that in any other case, but because they're already looking for proof of this,
right?
I kind of felt like that's what was going on there, but we'll see.
Yeah. As someone who's had a lot of blood draws and who tends to pass out during them, I appreciated, I think it was Perla's kindness towards the little girl, towards Kylie, and explaining how it was going to go. But Kylie did not flinch.
No. Which, again, the pain tolerance stuff.
Yeah. Robby calls her a tough little girl. And I related to Santos here because I think that there's certain phrases that people use that maybe aren't meant to be sexist, but can be read that way if you are sensitive to it. And Santos is like, well, yeah, little girls can be just as tough as little boys, even tougher. And I was like, that's not what he meant, but also I get it.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we get a little pop in with Whitaker. Another chance for Ogilvy to show off his knowledge. Then we go back to the hallway, and Whitaker and Jodie are chatting about how Whitaker is now a real doctor. The fact that they're still being nicknamed by Santos. Yeah. You think Huckleberry's a shitty nickname? She says, no, Huckleberry's cute. And he just goes, oh. To his credit, he realizes that's not a good thing.
Yeah, no. I love that together, the two of them, with that little back and forth.
And then Langdon pops in.
Mm-hmm.
This is such an awkward, like, when you're standing near someone, you think you're supposed to be talking to them because you're standing near them, but you don't know what to say.
It's a perfect description of that moment.
Yeah, she says, welcome back. Thanks, it's good to be back. And then nothing. And so he says, I'll be in exile on Triage Island with the rest of the drug addicts if anyone needs me.
I mean, really good for him for not trying to come back and act like everything's going to be the same. Yeah.
Statler and Waldorf walk by speaking Tagalog about Javadi's party.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
I wonder if that's, last season they ended in the park. I feel like this season might end.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Something for, even if it is in the park.
They got to go to karaoke.
I love that. I hope they do.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then we meet another patient, we meet the... Would you ever dump bacon grease down the sink?
No.
Who the fuck does that?
How have you made it this long in your life thinking you can do that?
The woman is like 50.
Yeah, I'm on his side 100%.
Oh my God. You never. Like, she has ruined his plumbing.
Yeah.
They're apparently part of a big racing family, but good God, don't pour bacon grease down the sink. You get an old can from Campbell's soup.
Right.
From chicken noodle soup that you eat when you're sick. You put the bacon grease in it and you freeze it and then you throw it away.
And then you throw that away.
Or you use it. But I don't cook, so.
No, right, exactly.
We get, I think this may be our last new patient. I'm not sure. No, not quite the last, but we get the guy who either fainted or tripped over some rebar and is non-responsive and is apparently having a diabetic crisis.
Yeah, this is interesting because Langdon smells the ketones on his breath, which is a sign that, and Robby is dismissive, but it doesn't end up getting in the way because it's like helpful information. Langdon gets that quickly, and maybe Robby heard him, but also Robby's a good doctor. He's not going to do it. Like, he's not going to skip something to not, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it all works. It's all fine.
Yeah. We also meet Caleb, who is I believe, a psychiatrist that is the currently on-call psychiatrist for the ER.
Right.
And I would have known this without seeing any other evidence because of the way that Dr. Robby talked to him. Not thrilled.
No.
We get a little nod again to the ridiculousness of insurance companies. They have to be in the hospital for 3 days before they can be moved to a nursing home, something that unfortunately I had to deal with. But Caleb's on it. Like, if nothing else, man, hospital social workers and psychiatrists and stuff doing the Lord's work.
Seriously.
Robby says, thank you, Caleb. And he says, yeah, you have a few moments, Michael. Shot across the bow. I
know. I don't even think Gloria last season calls him Michael.
I know. Shocking that his name is not Dr. Robert Rabinovich, but Michael. Actually, I do not. clearly that plus the reference earlier on where Santos and Robby are talking about trauma counseling. Clearly post mass casualty incident, they are supposed to be doing trauma counseling, and not shocking, Robby and Santos are two that are probably ducking it left and right.
Totally. Yeah, for all of my celebrating of Robby and how generally perfect I think he is, this is one of his weak spots.
Yeah. So the remaining patients that we're going to kind of focus on are the diabetic patient, mainly because, not about the patient himself, but because it's a way to highlight again that competition between Ogilvy and Jodie.
Right.
They're kind of fighting to be the best possible intern.
It's so funny because Jodie is like, she should know better by now, but she hasn't been challenged like this in the year or whatever that she's been here, I'm sure.
Right.
So
yeah, she's the like super young rising star, big brain. And now there's another one. And then we get, so I like the way they introduce this because Dr. Langdon is working with the racing family, working on the burn. And Donnie comes in and says, I've got something that needs attention. And Langdon says, not another baby. And he introduces him to Mr. Randall, who's been erect for the last 8 hours. Yikes.
Yeah, and Langdon is like trying to like figure out what happened, and is like just the like little bit of sort of small talk when he's like, oh, was it a... Yeah,
he says, is this a big one? Because he's asking about the wedding anniversary.
Yeah, is it important?
Like significant, a milestone? And then he says it's their 20th, and Langdon says, oh, nice, well done, congratulations.
It's so awkward.
It's really awkward.
But yeah, we find out that he'd given himself double erectile dysfunction injections.
Twice the dose. And then in the middle of this, we get the patient who was eating at Pamela's, ate broccoli, it got stuck, unfortunately. The point of this to me is, again, to highlight the Robby being right, quote unquote. And he's getting really cocky about it as well. But this is where she walks out. She doesn't agree with his decision. She says, in that case, I'll leave this in your capable hands. 30 minutes ago, I told you I've never been sued and I'd like to keep it that way.
Yep. I understand what she's doing here and why she's like, why she would want to distance herself from something she doesn't agree with. But I could see this being her like sort of get out of jail free card in general, even in situations where maybe there isn't another attending and it is her job to, but she's trying to keep her hands clean. When
we go back to the erectile dysfunction drug patient, Santos has got jokes again, right? But real quick, Dana says something that I noted that I wondered if it was going to come back later. She says the pharmacist mixed up the phenylphrine, whatever, 10 cc's of 10 mics per cc. And Mel says, great, that's the maximum dose. And now they have to like do something different. They have to flush over and over again or something.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know why they would put that in there. Like the pharmacy mixing something up.
Yeah, because I'm guessing there are other reasons they would use this method. It doesn't have to be. And that she's like pretty nonchalant about it. Like to me, that should raise bigger alarm bells, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Just something I noted for future reference. But yeah, Robby was right with the broccoli patient. Just ketamine, because if they give a paralytic, they have to intubate and ventilate for an hour.
It was really satisfying to watch that broccoli get removed. Yeah. I'm like not a pimple popper video person at all, even a little bit.
Oh my God.
But I'm like, I feel like I could watch that sort of procedure over and over. It was so satisfying.
But I agree that it was kind of like, I think because everything else is so messy and complicated and whatever, this is just like, boop, done. Boop.
Yeah, totally.
He's good now.
That was a huge piece of broccoli, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Chew your food, guys.
Yeah.
He's never choked on a sausage egg McMuffin, though.
Again, as someone from Jersey, I feel like I'm allowed to say that felt like so Pittsburgh. That's such a like.
We got some results back on the baby. She's got some rhinovirus, nothing major. Mohan almost went into peds.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dana gets an extended rant about how she's going to poke people's eyes out if they fuck with her.
Punchy's her new baseline.
Exactly. And this is where Robby makes the comment. He asks where Dr. Al-Hashimi is. Dana says in North 5 with the priapism, and he says, ha, better her than me. Yeah. I did not intend for that to come across as sexual in any way. On that note, I'm going to go check on Louis, and then I'm going to get some air in the ambulance bay. So if anybody needs me, that's where I'll be. Like, walks away. We check on Louis. We see his tooth infection is extremely painful. That one made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it looks rough. Ugh. You can hear that his breathing is becoming even more labored. He's still joking with Whitaker. He says, make sure you give me the good stuff. He says, like, I feel like I'm having a spa day, but his breathing is so labored here.
Yeah, this is where I really started to wonder, like, if they're setting him up to be the patient where they miss something.
Right.
Because this, like, Robby comes back in again to check in. He says, you know, he looks at Louis. Mm-hmm. He sees the condition he's in. He sees how much fluid they've drained. Whitaker says, I'm about to drain an apical, whatever, abscess, a tooth abscess. And he says, keep it up, and, like, closes the door.
Yeah. And I'm, you know, I said earlier, like, it seems unlikely they would notice all this, blah, blah, blah. But if there's going to be a patient that you are going to be that way with, it's one you're super comfortable with, who you see all the time, who seems in his own way sort of indestructible. Like, they know he's not doing well and this is very serious, but he keeps coming back. So I could see them just, again, not in a way that they wouldn't miss necessarily with a brand new patient with coming in the same way.
No, I think that there is some sort of, they've been lulled into some sort of, like, expectation with Louis that he's always going to be in this same condition.
Right.
I really think that, like, that can happen. Mm-hmm. And, you know, with patients that have chronic diseases that can kill them, often they just persist for a really long time in a really surprising way and then just die. Like, it's, yeah. All that to say, I do wonder, like, what the lesson that Louis is going to teach us is.
Then we go back to Al and Santos and Al-Hashimi with this patient.
They really, really showed that fake penis. Like, they did a focus pull on it.
That like, it's HBO. And I was like, oh, right. We can.
Yeah. I had that same reaction. I was like, oh, well, okay, we are going to see it. Got it.
How can we facilitate detumescence? Sometimes massaging the shaft can help. Mm. And then Santos says it like it pains her. Like, she has to say it. She it's like, that's what she said.
This is the scene, though, where Al-Hashimi does compliment Mel and says, I know your work, Dr. King, your medical decision-making in the chart is always extremely thorough.
Your medical decision-making in the chart is always extremely thorough, is so clinical. And that's great, though we know it's not everything. And that doesn't mean that this deposition, or maybe it does, maybe that is really all they care about, probably, actually. Mm. But I just think, like,
I think this is like her version of being comforting. Like, she's trying to be comforting, but this is all she knows how to say.
Yeah, and I don't think Mel's worry is that her charting wasn't thorough. Mel, I'm sure, knows her charting is thorough. Her signs of flaccidity.
Really quickly, when we go back to Broccoli Guy, I just want to point out here that he's thanking McKay, and out of nowhere, Joy just says, I didn't do anything. Like, what? A, he wasn't thanking you. And B, we know you didn't do anything. You were looking at your phone the whole time.
Maybe I'm starting to like her. She's like she is a jackass, and I'm like,
no, I kind of like her in that sort of, like, she's very unflappable.
Yes,
unflustered.
Yeah, something's gonna fluster her.
Yeah, something will. We get round 3 of Mrs. Bostic. This time she does not realize he's dead.
It's really sad. Whitaker does a very kind thing and smart thing here, I think. Although, again, I don't know that this sticks. Can I tell you the dark side of me? What was happening with this woman's storyline?
Go ahead.
And I don't know. Oh, I didn't get that far. And I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know why she would do this, but now that you said that, that would be cool as hell. Is that the first scene when she finds out, I was like, is this actor not doing the best job? Like, I didn't think the way she reacts is quite right. And I was like, or is this the patient? And then her response to learning her husband dies is almost exactly the same the second time. She's learning this all over again, and you don't react to bad news the exact same way every time.
Yeah, and I did chalk it up to that, but yeah.
And again, this is just me being so pessimistic, and I don't think this is what's going on, except that now that you said that, that's cool as hell. But and then the third time I was like, she's got Alzheimer's, but she knows what a dead body is, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I kind of felt like I want it to be something fun, like she murdered her husband, is pretending that he's not dead, because that would be much better. Or pretending like, whoa, my Alzheimer's is so bad, I can't even tell that he's dead. But yeah, again, I think the reality is much sadder. But
I think you're right. But
yeah,
the what's the word? Part of my brain.
Yeah,
there's just a little bit of it.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's that kind of show.
No.
That she's going to turn out to be like some sort of weird murderer.
Oh well,
but our last
can't
scene,
win them all.
No, can't win them all. Our last scene is again. I swear to God, I have a thing about personal space. If this doctor or anyone, wants to drive me crazy, keep popping up in my personal space.
I know.
I am the person who online, if you're standing right behind me, I will turn around and give you a look.
It makes me crazy. And I was that way.
I can feel you breathing.
Before COVID.
Yeah, my whole life.
And you're a doctor.
Get off my back.
Get out of here. That makes me crazy with people in line. Why are we... Thank you. Jodie, I'm so glad you brought this up.
This is such a hobby horse of mine. Like, get the fuck off of me.
Are you standing so close to me? The line doesn't move faster just because you're standing closer to me.
Nope. I'm surprised I've never gotten in a fight because of this, because I will turn around and stare someone down.
Yes.
Or be like, excuse me. Like, why are you up my ass?
It makes me crazy.
Yeah. That is not the point of this scene,
No.
but that is
Text
what I
us,
took
listeners. Let us know how you feel about people standing all up in your shit when you're in line at the market. Like,
or
get
online,
out of here.
But yeah. The point of this scene is, though, that for her to once more reiterate how great AI is, and for him to say, nah, not so much. And then for him to get to have a crazy screaming patient come in and be like, you want to talk about this right now? Yay.
Loved
it.
The ambulance tell me more about your ideas.
Yeah. The ambulance pulls up with a college-age kid screaming, and screaming specifically 2901, which someone...
Did you... Yeah, I looked it up.
Yeah.
It's
Do you want to tell us what it is?
Yeah, it's the Stop Campus Hazing Act. It requires schools to publicly report hazing incidents and maintain hazing prevention programs. So, it sounds like there was some sort of hazing gone awry. Gone awry as if...
Yeah, as if there's a right way to haze someone.
To haze. But we'll... And, we had last season, it was that one fraternity pledge and his buddy who stole the ambulance.
Oh, the ambulance. You're right.
So this is...
I forgot about that.
An ongoing issue.
Yeah.
With these Pittsburgh schools, apparently. So we'll see.
That's a good point. There. I don't know if you watched the preview for next week. I did, and it starts with this patient.
Okay.
Apparently he's been tased.
Combative college kid flipped out in the library, tased in the neck by campus security.
Yes.
Okay. So
I think we'll likely start right where we left off next week. 9 a.m. Tased college kid.
It's so fun to have a show where every day of the week I'm like, are we there yet? Are we at the pit yet? One more day?
I know.
It's really fun.
Before we head out, so I wanted to do a quick check-in on some other TV stuff. So did you watch Ponies?
I did. Just the first episode.
Okay. I do not have Peacock. So I realized I need Peacock to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm excited to. Did you like the episode?
I did. I liked it a lot. I won't say anything about it until you get a chance to watch otherwise, but it's doing some... You will be, I think, more interested than anything in the filmmaking choices of it. That's what I would say. Which I wasn't expecting to be the case.
Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. I haven't had a chance to yet, but of course, Vic Michaelis of Dropout fame is in it, and we love them very much.
Which, Vic Michaelis, I don't know we've ever said here, grew up mostly in Canada, though was born in New Jersey. So that explains so
although
much.
it is impossible to find out where in New Jersey, which is driving me crazy.
Trying to dox Vic Michaelis, I need to
come on our podcast and tell us what hospital you were born in.
Yeah, I'll be interested. I haven't read any reviews or anything online. I don't know how the general public is feeling about it.
So the guys on The Watch talked about it a little bit. And there's another spy show called The Night Manager that just came back after a 9 or 10 year hiatus. They were kind of talking about it in context of that. Okay. And they were talking about how so Chris Ryan watched Ponies and I think Andy didn't, but he really liked it. He basically was talking about how it clearly has a very small budget and The Night Manager has a huge budget and how he kind of wishes that was that they're doing a lot with a little, but you can kind of see that it's not exactly a huge spend on the show. So
that makes sense. I could see that.
Yeah.
Cool. What else?
I'm
what
excited
other?
To check it out. Oh, I watched the first episode of Industry, which that show's chaos. I don't even want to. If any one of our listeners are watching Industry, let me know if you want to hear any thoughts on it. It's a show that I watch where I'm like, why am I watching this? But I don't know. I think it's the actors. I like the actors in it.
Okay.
But yeah,
we did learn, I think since the last time we were here, that Kumail Nanjiani is going to be on the next season of Taskmaster.
Yes. Super
Very
exciting. Yes. So, fantastic.
Maybe we'll check in about that here and there.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think it's coming back in March, possibly. That was the last I heard. But I cannot wait. I'm ready.
I like the idea of every season there being a zany... Kumail's not zany, but there being a wild card from the States to come in and shake things up a little bit now that Mantzoukas has set that precedent.
Yeah. Yeah. Very different energy, though. I feel like Kumail has sort of an impish thing. Yeah. And Jason has I'm going to take a hammer and bash the set to pieces energy.
Full chaos goblin. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well... listeners, if you want to let us know what you're watching outside of the Pit, please do that by either emailing us at watcherspodnj@gmail.com, finding us on Instagram at watcherspodnj. We now have a TikTok, which, like I said earlier, is watcherspodnj. But yeah, if you find us there, if you are on TikTok, please give us a follow. We've had a lot of views on our posts, but not a ton of follows so far. And that is, I think, more the way TikTok goes in general. But followers are kind of what seems to matter more over there. So yeah, come find us.
I'm trying to become an influencer. So let's go. You can also, of course, call or text us at 856-336-8986. And, let us know what you're watching, what you're looking forward to, what's coming up after the Pit in 13 weeks or so that you're excited about. Tell us how your day went. That's it.
Absolutely. And you can find me on Instagram at Jodie_Mim, JODIE_MIM.
And I'm at AQAndrew.
Yes, you are. And until next week, bang yourself in the head,
get in the car,
and go to New Jersey.